All right, let's dive right into this one. Today on The Explainer, we're unpacking a really fascinating case study on time management, though honestly, it's brilliantly disguised as a simple fable. We're looking at a story titled The Clock of Destiny, A Tale of Two Brothers. And through the story, we're going to explore the sneaky mechanics of procrastination, the absolute undeniable value of preparation, and why relying on this illusion of luck is a really dangerous game to play. But before we even get to the brothers, I gotta ask you a question directly. Do you create your own luck, or are you just waiting for tomorrow? It's a pretty profound question, right? I mean, this right here is the whole core theme of the narrative we're exploring today. How we answer this one question basically shapes our daily habits and ultimately our lifelong outcomes. Okay, so let's get into it. Section 1, Meet the Twins. So we've got these twin brothers, Rohan and Kabir, identical in age, but honestly, that is literally where the similarities end. Rohan had this relentless drive. He just understood the innate value of every single second. Imagine him sitting there in a bright sunlit room, happily absorbing a book, totally engaged with his time. But then, on the flip side, consider Kabir's philosophy. He firmly believed that tomorrow was always the absolute best time to do, well, anything. Picture him just lackadaisically lounging on the couch, tossing a ball in the air, basically letting time slip right through his fingers. Two identical boys, two completely divergent mindsets. Which brings us to section 2, the Sunday choice. The crucial turning point here is how they spend this one specific Sunday, literally just days before their major exams. Let's walk through this timeline together. At dawn, while the whole world is still quiet, Rohan is already up. He's at his neat little desk, hitting the textbook, finalizing a school project. Fast forward to the morning, and what's Kabir up to? Well, he's rushing outside with his friends, covered in mud and sweat, swinging a cricket bat and laughing, completely ignoring the looming tests. Evening rolls around, and Rohan is actively revising. Kabir, passively staring at the TV. And all of it, leads directly to Tuesday, the exam. This leads perfectly into section 3, the illusion of luck. Kabir's whole psychological justification is perfectly captured in his own words. He actually says, "Relax, Mom. The test isn't until Tuesday. I have the whole day tomorrow to study. Everything depends on luck anyway." I mean, the absurdity here is just palpable. Picture the scene from the source text. You have his anxious, loving mother handing him a plate of food, and his dad, dressed in a suit, literally pointing at his watch in a panic. They see the deadline coming like a freight train, yet Kabir tells them to relax. He leans entirely on this idea of a mystical tomorrow, and an even more mystical concept of luck. And this brilliantly illustrates the ultimate trap of procrastination, right? Trading preparation for immediate gratification and a reliance on sheer chance. So while Rohan spent his evening finishing up assignments and proudly looking at this beautifully decorated school project on his desk, Kabir spent his hours in a dark room, just glued to a glowing television screen. He was pushing all his responsibilities further into the future, kind of just hoping that chance would somehow swoop in and save him. All right, section 4, the reality check. So the undeniable cause and effect is finally laid bare for us. Look at the preparation. Rohan studied and revised, while Kabir played in the mud and watched TV. So, naturally, the day of reckoning arrives. A stern teacher hands Rohan a paper with a shining A+, while Kabir gets a glaring red F. And the reaction? Man, it says it all. Rohan smiles proudly, while Kabir is just looking down in absolute shame, facing the deep disappointment of his teachers and his parents. That Tuesday test wasn't about luck at all, was it? It was literally just a mirror reflecting exactly what they chose to do on Sunday. Moving on to our final part, section 5, creating your own luck. In the source text, there's this deeply emotional scene where a tearful Kabir is sitting on his bed. His dad sits down next to him, gently puts a hand on his shoulder, and delivers this incredibly powerful reminder. He says, "Son, those who depend on luck and delay their work always fall behind. Time waits for no one. We don't wait for luck. We create our own luck by respecting time." So the crucial takeaway is right there. It's the profound difference between passively waiting for the universe to just hand you a good result and actively forging that result yourself through discipline and effort. But, the real beauty of this narrative is that it gives us a blueprint for change. Kabir actually makes a behavioral shift. Step 1, he sets his alarm to wake up early. Step 2, he opens his textbook to take control. And step 3, he chooses to act now, stopping procrastination dead in its tracks. In the story, Kabir finally understands the assignment of life. He smiles, sets his nightstand alarm, and happily high-fives his twin brother. he completely shifts from being this passive receiver of fate to the active creator of his own destiny. And that brings us right back to you. The clock is ticking. What are you going to achieve today? Seriously, are you going to be a Rohan or a Kabir today? Remember the central lesson of this explainer. Never leave for tomorrow what you can absolutely accomplish today. Actively build your own luck, respect your time, and I promise you, the results will follow. Thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you on the next explainer.